Tonight, the CDC is expanding its travel warning, urging Americans to avoid non-essential travel to all parts of China, not just the outbreak's epicenter.
The world is scrambling to stop the spread of COVID-19. More and more cases are popping up in countries far from the epicenter of the outbreak.
First, the unfolding coronavirus emergency. The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic with more than 118,000 cases across 114 countries.
New York City tonight, the original epicenter, suddenly making the call to close public schools, turning to remote learning for now.
So, as I record this little intro, it has been 376 days since the beginning of the pandemic. It's been hard, it's been long. I know a lot of people have suffered greatly, but I think that to a lot of people, this is going to be something that ends and they move on. And it'll historically be viewed as a giant year-long inconvenience. But that's not true for high school students. Sophomore, junior, senior, freshman, grade 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever it is. We have lost, if not the very end, then a huge chunk of the end of our childhoods. And what this hopefully is a record of all the time that was taken from us, and more specifically, time that we will never get back.
What was going on in your life before the pandemic really kicked off?
So we first heard the news of COVID in December of, 2019 now, I guess. Yeah. And I was in high school, grade 12, my graduating year. And honestly, everybody kind of thought nothing of it. We weren't really expecting much. And the pandemic and lockdown really started in March. And that's right when our March break started. And for me, my March break has never ended. It's been a year of March break, really, which has been quite interesting. Yeah, so just as for what I was doing during that time before the pandemic hit, I was just in grade 12, trying to have the best grad year possible.
Before the pandemic really kicked off, I was finishing up grade 12. Obviously, the pandemic really hit us over March break, so I was enjoying my family March break in Vail. So it was really really easy to see like the difference between before we went away. And then we went on vacation, we came back to the pandemic, and I was really just looking forward to go to university, finish up my high school career with all my friends. And as most people know, the end of grade 12 is really where you can just sort of kick back and enjoy yourself. So I don't want to say we got that taken away from us, but that's definitely something we lost is we didn't really get that end of grade 12 experience. We still haven't had a grad, so.
I discovered Warhammer in mid-August over the summer on the recommendation of a YouTuber. I'd heard of the game before, but I'd never really had a reason to get into the hobby, namely the miniature painting element of it. The video, however, convinced me in large part because the point it made was that truly anyone could paint miniatures, that I would in fact get involved with it. A few weeks later, I'd bought my first brushes, paints, and miniatures, and after a great many tutorials, other friends getting into the hobby, and procrastination, I started painting. Since then, I've tried to paint almost every day, with my sessions ranging from 15 minutes to put in some detailing, to some that have gone to nearly 2 hours to get a model to look just right. It's given me time to listen to podcasts I've been putting off for a while, or even in some cases just give my eyes a break from my screen during especially dry online classes. It's expensive, no doubt, and certainly requires a little patience, but I think just about anyone can do and enjoy it. And in a time with very little to do that doesn't require looking at an electronic device, it's a welcome change. What did you miss out on because of the self-isolation?
There were 3 months right there at the beginning where I wasn't expecting to be home anyways. Like I wasn't expecting to get to do normal Canadian teenager things. So I think the first 3 months really weren't that hard because I had already like mentally prepared to not see my friends for that period of time. As soon as it got to the point where the day I was supposed to come home from Spain, that was kind of depressing because that week I was also supposed to go see Hamilton, which I was really sad about. I was excited for that. I missed out, on traveling in the summer. Nothing big was planned, but it was just like going even around the country with my family that like stopped really being an option.
Definitely one of the bigger things for me was sailing practices because I'm on the varsity team. And so we just completely missed this whole year because it's a 2-season thing. So that was really unfortunate. Also, yeah, just like school wise, we missed like a lot of dances and just a lot of school activities like football games and just everything that makes high school here, really.
What new hobbies, if any, have you started during the pandemic?
I would say that I got back into old hobbies that I didn't really have time for, like watching movies and reading. And I think like things like exercise, I used to go work at a spin studio every week and I would be there every day. So that obviously evolved, but I don't think I did anything like brand new.
Cooking. I started cooking a bit. Sort of watching more TV. That was a big thing. I didn't really watch TV before. I was more of a YouTube guy and I switched to TV. Just sick. A lot of anime though. Yeah, what can you do? That's pretty much all that I picked up.
Reading. Done a lot of reading. I've become a very political person, probably due to the pandemic. And reading has kept me sane and informed. It kind of keeps me in grasp with reality, to be honest. When you hear about all the bad things that have happened at different time periods, you think, you know what, we can do fine. We're gonna make it through this if we work together. That in video games, lots of video games. I went from about 20 hours in War Thunder to I checked today, 339 hours in War Thunder. Yeah, to keep my head above water. Honestly, it stuck under a few times. The stress before Marks went in. I was just doing work, and my head dipped under, that's for sure. I wasn't doing well. But enough break and I'm good.
I would say I'm reading a lot more than I used to. Like when I was younger, I read a lot of books. That was really, I guess, my main hobby was books, and then it sort of transferred into video games. But now with so much time on our hands at home, I have enough time to do two hobbies, I guess. So I've definitely spent a lot more time reading than I did before the pandemic.
So yeah, I haven't really been starting new hobbies, more so just keeping up with the ones that I already have. I have a passion for filmmaking and design and stuff like that. And unfortunately, during the first few months of the pandemic, it was very difficult to actually nourish those passions and give myself projects to do just because nothing was open. I couldn't actually do it, especially with film. It's such a collaborative medium, right? I want to be able to, do that with friends and whatnot. But once going back to school, starting university, I got into more of a routine. I was able to meet up with more people, and because of that, I was able to ease back into my interests and passions. And yeah, so to answer your question, no, I haven't really been getting any new hobbies, more so just keeping up with the ones that I love.
So I'm just about to hand in my final math project ever. I'm not taking the class next year, so yeah. I was hoping that it'd be a little more climactic. Huh. What are you looking forward to doing or getting back to once this all ends?
Honestly, I'm excited to start university because even though I've done almost a full year of classes, I haven't experienced lecture halls. I don't really know where any of the buildings at McGill are, but I'm really, really excited to be on campus and meet a lot of like-minded people because so far it's mostly been people in my residence that I've met. So I'm really excited for that.
Hugging people when I see them and like partying and not feeling, it's always awkward when you see people now because it's like, okay, hi, I'll stay back here, hug from here type of thing. So I'm just excited to, like, I'm an extrovert, so I love seeing people. So I'm just excited to see people all the time.
I'm looking forward to just social interaction, you know, same room, doing same things every day, you know. I'm obviously, we're all in a pretty good position considering that, well, at least me, because I go to a private school and all stuff like this. And, you know, it's just, I don't really have to worry about a lot of things, but I just miss meeting people, going around talking to people. It's the big thing for me.
Definitely hanging out in large groups of people again. My sailing season's actually, well, we're not going to be able to do any races or anything, but our team is going to be practicing shortly, so I'm very excited about that. Yeah, and just like mainly the things that this pandemic's taken away.
See, the thing is, like, I've forgotten like what's even happening. I look forward to like being able to go to the movies or go see a play. I really miss going to plays. I love live theater. I miss going to the mall at Christmas time when everyone around you is really, really stressed and you can just sit there with a hot chocolate and watch. It's so entertaining.
Seeing friends and especially once, hopefully next year when I'm entering second year uni, the school experience is back there as well, because it's hard when you have gone to the school where, especially a small school, where it does feel like you're going and seeing your friends every single day and you're hanging out with your friends every single day, and then suddenly you're not even going to school at all, let alone like with your friends, like you're just not seeing anyone, you're just in your house all day. So I'm definitely looking forward to just having people over, going and playing whatever sports we want to play, getting that sort of consistent structure back to our life with our friends and integrating everyone into it.
That's hard. Honestly, it's just being idle with other people. Like, yeah, I've waved to friends, I talk to them online, but just having, I'm an only child, and having other people in my life is just something that I miss immensely. Like, even if it's just being in a schoolroom, having people closer to you. Like when we went back from fully virtual this year to partially virtual, that was a major thing for me. So I'm excited to be around other people again.
I think like everybody, we just want to see people. You know, we just want things to be normal. That's not to say that as soon as COVID vaccines are out, everything's going to be normal. That's not true, right? You know, people are still going to be wearing masks. Everything's going to change, but just to have some bit of normalcy, that's all I want, really. You know, just to be able to have the option to go outside. It's interesting because I'm the kind of guy that on a Friday night in grade 12, I wouldn't be going out to a party. I was very okay with staying at home, doing some work on something that I wanted to do, right? But just not having that option to even go out is the hardest part, right? So just a little bit of normalcy. That's what I'm looking for.
I had a lot going on in my life before this started. I met a group of people I really liked and I really cared about, and I thought were going to be my friends to the end of the world. And clearly that happened. I didn't plan for this. I thought for once God was throwing me a ball. Life was working out, going the way maybe I didn't want it or plan it on, but going in a better way. Right now I should be out at a party somewhere. I mean, literally right now, but I should be meeting people, doing things, being maybe with these friends. But instead, I'm here talking to a camera stacked on top of a unnervingly rickety looking stack of books. I had a life I wanted to live, and it's gone. And some parts of it I'll be able to get back. Some of it's just gone forever. There are friends that I'll never get to party with ever again, probably. And I came into this whole thing in a bad place. I wanted to walk into the freezing Canadian woods and just die. I lost experiences, memories so precious that I don't think there's any amount of time or wealth or future experience that could ever make up for the people I'll never see again, for the stories I'll never get to tell. I've lost an amount I can't even begin to describe. But I guess I should reveal the big twist of this whole thing has been to reconnect. The people I've interviewed are people I never thought I'd get to talk to again. People I haven't talked to in years. People I won't ever talk to again after this. From the cast of that play I was in, that friends that were so dear to me, who I lost because of this, to people I stopped talking to years ago because I stopped being their friends. Because we grew apart or our friendship collapsed. To people I want to talk to. I wanted to, and I never took the chance to without this. And I want to hone in on those people I lost connections with because of this, and hope that in some small way I've reconnected with. You guys mean the world to me. You mean more than you could ever imagine. You have changed who I am as a person, who I'll be, what path I want to go down in my life. You're the reason for this. Not without you. And, so this is for you. It's all for you. I love you all so much, and whatever the future holds
For me, you, all of us. I can't lose any of you.